Sitting here with Josh Hash, Strength Side.
Strength Side in the house.
Yeah, man. We didn't even discuss what we were going to talk about before the show, which is exactly how I like to do it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So, I want to talk about, most of what I talk about is how to build a coaching business. And we met in San Francisco, but I started checking out your stuff, and I was like, oh, man, this is good. This is really good. So, you have a YouTube channel. How many subscribers do you have?
Man, I used to check it like every day, but haven't checked in a while, and we're a little bit under 300K.
A little under 300K. When we met, I think it was 200.
It's around 200.
It's growing fast.
Oh yeah, growing really fast.
Yeah.
The coronavirus shot us up a little bit.
Coronavirus help.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're doing online coaching, if you already established as an online coach and then something like that occurred, like it did for us as well, we saw a huge boost in traffic. Everything doubled overnight.
Yeah.
Which it's like unfortunate for the world, but when you're running an online business, it's really dope actually.
Yeah. I mean, it worked out very well, and I was also like excited that I could be there for people trapped in their house who usually go to the gym, and I have a lot of body weight follow along routines on YouTube, so people could start exploring my stuff, and we got a lot of growth.
Yeah. What would you so I want to hear about your fitness evolution, where you came from on that, but I want to dig in real quick first, a little more on the marketing side before we get into the development of your strength and conditioning. How do you get 300,000 subscribers on YouTube? Jeez.
Well, I got the secret.
You got? Oh my! He's gonna reveal the secret, folks.
No, I've been posting consistently once a week for 5 to 6 years now.
Okay, good. I love this. The secret is consistency over time.
No, I mean it really is, man. Like you can scroll back and watch my early videos and it's just trash, but I started, and starting allowed me to start like fine-tuning and seeing where I wanted to go and seeing what Strength Side would be about, and what it started with is so much different than how it is now.
Well, where did it start?
Well, it started as me emulating people, like I watched a lot of Elliot Hulse. I watched a lot of Kelly Starrett. And when I started my YouTube channel, I was trying to be them, And along the journey, I had this realization that I was like, I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert. I am me, and I've had these experiences, and I can share what has shaped my experience and what has helped me along the way. And when I made that shift, I started making videos for myself 2 years ago or so. And right around that time, like that's when Strength Side really caught fire.
Do you think that emulating others was important?
Yeah.
Or the process?
I think you have to.
Yeah.
Like to start, you have to see someone, be like, I like what they're doing. I want to do something like that. And yeah. Did you?
Oh yeah. Well, I was looking at with Barbell Shrugged. What's funny is I remember I got on stage at this big mastermind event a few years ago, and they were like, "Oh, this dude's got," at the time I had maybe 185,000 subscribers, and I'm like, "Dude, you're crushing YouTube." Yeah. Somebody goes, "How do we make viral videos?" I was like, "You're asking the wrong fucking guy. I have no idea how to make a viral video." Right. I'm like, "How did you get so many subscribers?" It was like, well, I was posting every single Wednesday for years and years and years and years. And I followed like some pretty standard things, high quality audio, Yeah, there's a lot of things we did right. We had CTP on the team who was like capturing a really unique angle, which I think the same. We were talking about this before the show. You edit your own videos, so like the way that the videos are shot and edited is part of your brand.
Yes.
Right. So when we see a strength side video, it's if you've been watching strength side, instantly I know I'm watching a strength side video.
Right.
I don't even have to see the words.
Right.
But yeah, when I started, I was a podcast fan of Rob Wolf. It's the only podcast I'd ever listened to. For like a year, I was listening to Rob Wolf, and it was just like him nerding out about, chemistry and physiology and nutrition. Just was like, I was all about it. And I knew that I tried to introduce other people to it, and they're like, they're not interested in this shit. And
it's like fitness geek stuff.
Yeah, and like CTP was like, he was interning for me at the gym. He goes, dude, you can do the same thing. Like, you should check out Joe Rogan. And I go, nah, fuck. Joe Rogan, the comedian, the Fear Factor guy. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I put it off for a while, but I listened to him. And what was cool about that was I realized that a podcast could be anything you want. And so I had only this one point of reference for Rob Wolf, but then I had this other reference for Joe Rogan. So it was actually looking at both of those guys that informed us on how to do Barbell Shrug.
Yeah.
So it was a combination of the two. Also, we got a lot of followers from Technique Quad, and that was Doug.
Right.
Doug put together how to do every movement you could ever dream of in the gym with proper technique, and a lot of those people love how-to videos. YouTube is huge on how-to. If you want to get a long philosophical conversation, save it for a podcast. It's not for YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And that brings up for me what you said about like, a podcast can be anything. That's exactly been my journey with YouTube. And I think it's I've thought a lot about this, and I think the new age influencer or coach or whatever you're doing, like the more you can make that your own, and I think it's really cool to blend the things that you're into. You know what I mean? Like the guy that is like the power lifter, the Olympic weightlifter, like that's cool, but it's hard to break into those spaces because there's people doing it really, really well. But if you bring like this mix of things to the table, then like you create that vibe. And like you were saying with, CPT behind the mic, the way I shoot my videos, like people know, oh shit, like it gives them that feeling. And then they want to keep watching and keep engaging,
Yeah. So did you have a goal when you started the YouTube channel? Was it one of those things where it's like, okay, I want to grow this thing as big as possible. I want to have an online coaching platform. What was motivating you?
What was motivating me was I didn't want to be a personal trainer in the gym anymore. I had done that and it was draining me, and I was just working clients. I started off like with big eyes, working like, doing 35 sessions a week, and I got all the way down to doing maybe 18, and I was still feeling the same way. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. But I started strength side, and I knew strength side was going to be my way out of that. I just knew it was a matter of time, and that was always my goal, was just to be able to coach people online and have freedom. Like, I really wanted to be location independent. I've told this story on YouTube before. I took this trip to Costa Rica and I just fell in love. I was like, it was my first time out of the country traveling, and I realized all the things in my life that I was doing just weren't supporting like who I wanted to be and where I wanted to go with life. I was so attached to the gym, lifting barbells, lifting dumbbells, and my ego was very attached to that. So then that trip like really set me on a path of starting to release, starting to go into more of this like minimalist lifestyle.
So your training transformed as well.
That was the catalyst. Like around the same time I tore a meniscus as well. So I was like, shit, can't do that anymore. What am I going to do? That took me down the path of getting into body weight training, and yeah, with like that mindset of like, oh, I don't need the gym anymore. I can do this anywhere. I was like, I want to be able to run my business from this laptop too. You know?
Yeah.
And yeah, so my life has unfolded in that path, and it's been really cool.
If you were to name your style of training, what would you call it? 'Cause I see what you do, and I have a hard time. I don't know what box it belongs in. You know, we as humans want to put things in boxes. Like, what is that? I know I like watching it. It's beautiful. I also like doing it as best as I can do it. Sometimes when people see, like, I do some stuff that's similar to yours, and people are like, what is that? I'm like, I don't fucking know, man.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Streak side.
Yeah, there's I mean, it's movement, right? Yeah. And people give it labels like natural movement, primal movement, animal movement, locomotion. Whatever it is, I'm just into... Yeah, I've gotten really into moving my body in different ways than what's going on in mainstream fitness. And then I let the nuts and bolts, my strength training, I let that support the movement. And that's a big thing right there. Because like if you want to become a better mover, but all you're doing is deadlifting heavy, it doesn't line up, you know?
Yeah.
But if you're using your strength to train full range of motion, if you're like opening up, you know, your joints, doing mobility and flexibility, then it promotes being able to move freely and do, you know, more of this natural movement. Yeah,
I find that people's lives and how they move are super aligned. It's like I spent 2 months in Utah where my schedule became very structured.
Yeah.
I created a very structured, rigid schedule.
Right.
And all of a sudden I went into like really structured, rigid gymnastics progressions and kettlebell training.
Right.
And then as I got out here to Tahoe and there's less structure, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do a little bit of flow work again. I'm like, where the fuck, what happened?
Yeah.
Most of my lifestyle is similar, like always traveling. You got to figure out how to move on the go and all that. So,
absolutely, man. One of the best things I ever did was start dancing, and that was very uncomfortable for me in the beginning. But I did capoeira for a couple years, and that kind of gave me this rhythmicality that allowed me to get more comfortable dancing. And yeah, man, like dancing flips the way that I think about things. It flips my experience of life, and it lets me find more flow, essentially. And that's for me because I can be the same way. I can get just very structured, and I'm like, boom, 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 boom.
I imagine people see you now and go, that guy's structured? But you're like, I know my fucking history. I was structured.
Like, you don't know my head, man. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, and then back to your other point is like, I really like not being able to be put in a box.
Yeah.
You know, like I remember in high school, this is when I first realized that I didn't like being put in a box because I was like point guard on the basketball team. I was wide receiver on the football team. So I was a jock, but I was super into ceramics, and I would spend like hours and hours doing pottery, and I'd spend my lunches there, you know, like my high school girlfriend would be like, you can't even go to lunch with me. Like, just throwing pots. And I remember just like really liking, like, yeah, I don't want to be that one thing that stereotype, you know, like that one thing that people think I'm supposed to be. Like, I want to explore what I'm actually into. You know?
Love that.
Yeah.
What else are you into now that might surprise people?
Oh man, that's a good question. That might surprise people.
I mean, ceramics, that surprised me. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, right.
Like skipping lunch with my girlfriend to go do pottery. That's pretty
Dude,
intense.
I loved it, man. Put those headphones on and throw some pottery. I'm really into. I mean, this might not surprise people, but I really like reading novels.
Okay.
Yeah, like, you know, I was just talking with Ben, and I was telling him like Hunger Games was my shit. You know?
Really?
Like, yeah, I could like get into those like cheesy novels that are maybe even more so for high schoolers.
You read a bunch of vampire
Yeah,
novels.
yeah, man, I'm into it. What about you?
oh, now I'm being interviewed.
Yeah, well, that people wouldn't, you know.
I feel like I'm a fairly open book.
Yeah.
I like ecstatic dance, like yourself. That opened up a lot of stuff for me.
That's not surprising though.
That's not surprising. That's the thing is like, I really,
nothing would really
enjoy tantric sex.
Not surprising.
Yeah. You know what though? Like something's been surprising even for me recently is just loving trail running as much as I have lately. Like really, I've never considered myself an endurance athlete.
Yeah.
I've done a couple triathlons. I've done a marathon. I've done that kind of stuff just to like say I did it. But more recently, a lot of my training has revolved around just being able to be outdoors more and log more miles because I want to see so much. Being in beautiful places, and I like doing it on my feet. There's something about being on my feet and out in the wild that's so primal.
Yeah.
And just, so.
Absolutely, like the ability to explore your environment and to do that in... Yeah, like, because the better that you get at running, like, the more you get to experience that in a cool way.
Exactly. You know? Like, if running's easy...
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're at 8,000 feet right now.
That's true.
Like, I get really good... I like to run the Spartan race up here every year. They have the World Championships.
I've done it here before, actually.
Have you?
Yeah.
What year did you do?
It's probably about 4 years ago, maybe 2016.
I might have been up here for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just did the minimal one.
The minimal one? I did the Beast.
You did the Beast?
I did the Beast.
Oh,
it was like 19
dude.
miles. I was shot at the end. It was wild.
Bet.
But if you get good at running at altitude, then you go anywhere in the world and it's cake. Yeah. It's cake. All right, so I want to hear about you are a personal trainer, hourly wage. Now you run a business where you have ultimate freedom. You were bouncing around in Airbnbs. Like me.
Yeah. Airbnb life.
We were just complaining about it, actually. We got to get the fuck out of these Airbnbs. We need to, like, settle down somewhere. It gets old, too. How did that transition go from hourly wage to doing business online, having online training? It's a big gap. Going from, like, I'm going to exchange dollars for hours to I have subscription-based revenue online where people subscribe and they just keep paying me and I keep producing this content and it doesn't matter how many people subscribe. I do the same amount of work and I've got the unlimited amount of people could come in. Like,
right.
What was that? What has that journey been like?
Oh man. It has been I'm a little chilly. It's been like crazy journey, you know, but when I decided to leave the personal training behind, I took a huge cut in income because StrengthsEd wasn't at the point where I was like making a bunch of money from it yet, and I took about 8 months and I went to South America and Latin America.
Yeah.
And I lived for $800 a month, you know, and I made like $1,000 a month. And I just put everything into my personal practice. I had never been able to have a morning routine because I always had clients in the morning. And now,
that's most trainers, most coaches.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like I find out what they do first thing in the morning. I'm like, I would have a hard time running my business if I did that.
Yeah, man. It's in taking that time to just be able to meditate, read, journal, and then go train every single day, and then put work into strength side, like that's when my vision of strength side really started to shift. And it was 100% because I was taking care of myself, you know, like I was putting everything into my personal practice, and people noticed. And then, you know, then from there it was just the steps of believing that strength side could be a big business, rather than just something that, oh, you know, this pays my bills. That's kind of like what my first vision was, like, oh, it'd be so cool if I could just make enough money online to just live an average life, you know?
Yeah.
But then over the years, I've just shifted my mindset to say, nah, like we're gonna really kill it.
Go all the way.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, you know, I'm into manifestation, law of attraction, and once I was able to just get my mind around, this is who I am, this is what I am, like this is the way things are gonna be, everything fell into place.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. So a lot of people, when I talk to them, they're like, oh, I got my job, and then I want to do my actual career, which is run my own shit.
Right.
And people are like, when am I supposed to make the shift? And I'm always thinking it's so individualized because people have different risk tolerance, right?
Yeah.
What triggered you there? Or do you have
to take the risk?
Yeah, and do you have a high risk tolerance? I mean, you went to Latin America. I mean, I mention that to people a lot of times. I'm like, well, shit, man. When I'm in Colombia, I can live like a king off $2,000 a month. King. Yeah. Like I have a dope pad.
Yeah.
And I eat well. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, like you really can. And I wouldn't say I have a high risk tolerance, but I'd say that I have that thing in me that just wants to fucking run and be wild, you know? And like I want to go out, and I want to like be in the wilderness, and I want to camp, and I want to like go travel, and like I want to have these cool experiences that I imagine are a part of what a lot of people want out of life, you know? And there's just something about there's something where I was just being in Silicon Valley, training tech people, just had me feeling like so boxed in, you know? And yeah, I was just willing to take that risk, and I knew deep down inside that it was all gonna be okay, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I can't recommend enough the Latin America experience, because you just know that like you can live well with not a lot, you know?
Yeah.
And now like you can come, and now I have, you know, now I'm doing well, and now I appreciate doing well. You know?
Yeah. So are there pivotal moments in this journey where, okay, all right, I figured out how to make $1,000 a month. Were there any like big leaps where like you went from like 1,000 to 5,000 in a single month, and you're like, just because you figured out one thing, you're like, oh shit.
Yes, there was. And a lot of it had to do with actually not even joining the Strong Coach. It was just having a discovery call with Danny. Talked, and he gave me he just told me something that I just needed to hear. And what put me from a jump from making a little money to a lot more money within like 2 months was just a shift in my head.
Yeah.
Just believing that I could do it.
Yeah.
Because I was self-sabotaging myself by thinking I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to do the thing that I knew was going to come in the future that was going to make me money. I was like, I kept putting it off, you know, because I thought that I had more work to do, but you're never ready.
Yeah.
You know? And looking back, I should have done it earlier, but it all came at the right time.
Yeah.
You know?
Always perfect timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was ready for it.
Yeah. I always tell people like where I've gotten to now. I don't say always tell people recently because I've done it myself. Is like with a strong coach, it was not an intention to like blow it up. I wasn't trying to make it as big as possible. It was just like, see a need in the market. I know I can get some people some results. I see some low hanging fruit. And then as people started getting results, you know, I'm just like, I'm just helping and I'm making a little bit of money. And I go, oh, every time someone gets good results, just get fired up. Because because I already worked through a lot of the stuff like what you're talking about. Like I worked through, you know, am I good enough and all that. I already had that, and I was just chilling when I started that. But for people who are getting good results with clients, because I imagine you were already getting great results with people.
Absolutely.
But for some reason that wasn't clicking.
Yeah.
So if you're getting great results with people, you may just need a mindset shift, and then things will click right over.
Yeah, and it truly is just a mindset shift. You're always going to do the thing that feels comfortable until you decide to do the thing that's out of your comfort zone. It's as simple as that, you know?
What was one of the more uncomfortable changes that you've made recently?
In business, it's been raising prices, you know, raising prices more, like a lot more than what I see my contemporaries doing right beside me. And with those raises in price, seeing that the only thing that changes is that the customer is valuing this higher, in that they're getting better results.
They're getting better results.
Yeah. People are much more bought in. And yeah, so once you see that shift, then it's, of course,
it's a no-brainer. I remember when we started the Strong Coach, it was I started at one price and then gradually I knew I was going to raise it up. You know, I was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to do a small because I didn't want to have to sell very hard, to be honest. I was.
Wait, what do you mean?
When I started that year, 2018, I was actually really nonchalant about everything.
Yeah.
And I was really relaxing a lot. I wasn't intending to start a business, and I didn't really want to work. So the strong coach was born during a time where I was like, I just want to help people.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really born out of a time where I was like into making a lot of money or doing the hustle or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't have it's not like I had just this huge bankroll or anything like that. I didn't have a bunch of money sitting in the bank where it was just like it didn't matter because I had money. It just didn't matter because I was focused on myself. But I remember when I was like, oh, it's time to raise prices. There was a moment where I was like, you know what, we need to raise the price where it needs to be, like an appropriate thing. Because the thing is like where it was originally, it was not built to scale. It was only built for like Danny and I to run it.
Right.
And if we wanted to scale, that means help more people. We were going to have to raise the price. And so I remember Danny had an issue with that. And not that he was resistant to me, but he had a hard time on a sales call
asking for more money.
Yeah. And what happened was he sold the first couple at our current rate, and it was difficult for him. But then he saw these two guys where like we changed the price and like during one class. So, like, a bunch of people got one price, but these two guys got another. Sorry, guys. I'm not sorry. And the reason is those two guys that paid a higher rate got the best results out of the entire class. And he goes, oh. And he comes back and goes, let's, like, whatever you say from now on, like, prices, like, let's do it. Like, he was like, should we raise it even more? I'm like, no, we're good. like it's priced appropriately now.
Right.
It's so funny how Danny switches like, boom, boom.
Like, it's a new month, let's raise.
Yeah, he's funny. I love it.
Dude, I mean, I 100% believe that. And And what maybe people don't sometimes realize is that as coaches and as teachers, influencers, whatever you want to call it, the more that people support us and buy into what we're doing, like the better content we're gonna put out, the more people we're gonna reach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The better like everything's gonna be higher quality. So it's like just this, it's just like this whirlwind of like things leveling up.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, because we charge what we charge, that means I can have someone doing administrative work, and I can have someone running sales and marketing. I can have someone else running phone calls. I can hire coaches. I can train the coaches. I can have someone running my tech. Like if I'm running the tech, geez.
We saw today.
Yeah, you've witnessed the limitations of my tech skills. But hey, in my defense, I just left shit at home. I didn't have the right gear.
Yeah.
But like, because all those people, because the business is doing well, all those people can be there, which means that I can focus more on making the program better.
Right.
Like in the last few months, all my attention's gone into making the program better.
Right.
That's all it is. Like if someone did the Strong Coach a year ago, I fucking hope they're going back and reviewing the updated curriculum I did. And I've got more updated curriculum coming out. And it's only because like we have a team. We can afford to have a team.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you can sit here and do things like this where you're, in your creative power.
Yeah.
Rather than worrying about all those nuts and bolts, man.
So what are you excited about next? Like where's Strength Side going? Where are you going?
Strength Side is just been evolving from day one, and it's going to keep evolving. And one of the phrases, one of the taglines of Strength Side is highly different. And I will keep on pushing the boundaries of what is fitness, what is personal growth, and blending these two and doing things that haven't been done. And whatever that looks like, I don't know yet, but I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
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 And I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
It's like everything's so exciting.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're excited and it's like one more step in front of the other.
Yeah. It's like the path. What I found is that the path just kind of unfolds,
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, okay, I'll go right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. You hit the next level. Most people have a hard time with that. They want to know like the next 10 steps. But when you play this game long enough, I have a lot of times people ask me like I have intentions. I have a long-term vision with intentions.
Right.
And they'll actually that whole vision will be accomplished. No doubt in my mind. But so will 1,000 other things that are way fucking cooler than anything I thought I was going to do.
Right.
Like the money amount, I was like, oh, we'll make this amount of money. Like who cares?
Yes.
It's all the cool stuff that happens along the way to like going after that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I completely agree. And all of those like more objective, like superficial goals that I've set, when you reach those, it's just like cool. But it's the experiences that really sit with you and really change you.
Yeah.
Doing something like this, sitting in Tahoe, like this is cool.
Yeah.
Versus I want to make X amount of money.
We're working.
Working hard. Man.
Working. Oh, so hard. It's cool when you get to do your favorite thing in the world as your job. And you didn't do it overnight. You've been at this for a while.
Yeah, it was a grind, and now things are flowing, and I believe it. I believe everyone can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a matter of getting the right information and learning from the right teachers, and getting your mindset right.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta learn. There's a lot to learn. Like when I look back, so I started my gym in 2007, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
What's different about then and now is just what I know. Like I didn't like when I started as strong coach, it's not like I came in with a huge amount of money to like, all right, I'm gonna come in and just run shitloads of ads and just demolish the market. Like I started with a brand new YouTube channel, started with a brand new podcast. I started flat.
Yeah.
That's actually not true. I'm lying a little bit. I did harness barbell strength a little bit on my way out. And
you got a little bit of
I got a little bit of a boost there. All right, I got a little bit of a boost. You know what though? Had I not, it would have been fine. It would have happened a little slower, but it would have been fine. But where I'm at with Strong Coach now is, what took me 5 years to get barbell shrug to, and things like that.
And how long Strong Coach been?
2 years now.
2 years.
2 years. In a lot of ways. And one of the things like that this is why I was excited when I met you, and I was like, oh fuck, man, I want to work with Josh, because what I learned with Barbell Shrug, like we did well because we had an awesome YouTube channel, and we could have done way better with what we had. Right. And like the Strong Coach, like all of our channels are like pretty small. I don't have we haven't broken 100K on anything, like not 100K followers on any platform. Our email list isn't that big. And what I learned is I learned how to run a business. And like a lot of people see people with, oh, they got 1 million Instagram followers or 1 million YouTube. And it's like, that doesn't mean shit. I'm sure you've met some people with really large followings who like, they don't make a lot of money, or like you're surprised at how little they make, or what they have to do to make the money they are making. It's kind of ridiculous. Yeah. And so for me, it's like, oh, I don't need a big following to have a really successful business. Yeah. And so when we met, and you're like, oh yeah, I got a couple 100,000 subscribers. I was like, and I had actually seen you before online. It wasn't like brand new. I was like, oh, you're that guy, and I was like, dude, I want to work with you because when you have a channel like that, it's like you're gonna level up so fast. Like just like little tweaks will really fast. And so, and if you didn't have that, it'd still be fine. Like it's not like it, but it's one of those where like, oh, we can actually make progress. Like we make one tweak, and that's a $10,000 difference from 1 month to the next. Yeah,
in that, I mean. That's why I joined the Strong Coach, is because I didn't know how to monetize my audience.
No.
And I have met a lot of people that have followers, and maybe you're just collecting ad revenue.
Yeah.
Like, ooh. You can't rely on that.
You can't live off ads.
No.
You got to be crushing it to live off ads.
Yeah.
But then you could just offer something else and crush it even more.
Yeah.
Ads will never. Yeah.
Well,
it's not the game I want to play.
And you're like, if YouTube goes away, then you're fucked.
Yeah. You don't control YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. When people build an entire business off of one thing, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Which you built email.
Yeah, man. Email. Well, I listened to you back in the day. I listened to Tim Ferriss. I read a lot of Seth Godin, and I started getting emails like before I had like 100 subscribers on YouTube. I was like, oh, this is the most important thing. I got to have this free gift. And I'm so glad that I did that. So
yeah, dude.
Yeah, because that's the way to do it.
Good job, man. A lot of people are opposed to email.
Yeah.
And then they they feel like it's impersonal that you're sending out mass email. I'm like, like, okay, but your Instagram is not personal.
I'd say it's more personal than Instagram in a way, and I really enjoy writing emails. Like that's another one of my outlets, because I get to just like put some thoughts down, and one thing that I found really effective for myself with Strength Side is I'll talk about anything. Like it doesn't have to be fitness related, you know. Talk about anything that's on my mind, and people like that. Like people I'll make sales when I say nothing about a program, but it's because just connecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being authentic.
Being authentic.
Yeah.
That's it's a bit cliche, but man, it's
Most people don't know what the fuck that means. They're like, I like authenticity. I want to see authenticity. Like,
Right.
do you know what that means? It doesn't mean share everything in your life vulnerably.
Right.
Like, it just means show what you really think.
Yes.
A lot of people end up like with like a lot of vulnerable share hangovers and all sorts of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you didn't have to do that.
Yeah, that didn't work, but being authentic really is like a muscle that you strengthen and you fine tune over time. And like my voice now, people connect to it, and it's the strongest it's ever been because I've been writing emails and writing Instagram posts and making content for a long time. I imagine that in 5 years it'll even be stronger, you know?
Yeah. When I talk to any great teachers, like in spiritual traditions and things like that, most of them say if you want to get to know yourself, you have to sit and you have to write. You have to get your ideas on paper and you have to look at them. Yeah. The majority of the shit that I write never sees the light of day. It's for me.
Right. And
I'm getting to know me. And I write things down and go, well, that thought was full of shit. You know, like I'm glad I didn't put that out there because it's not even true.
Right.
Like I like to like put stuff out and like, man, if someone read that, they just think I was an asshole. I think I'm an asshole.
Dude, I love what you said though. Like you're getting to know yourself.
Yeah.
And that, like, I guarantee that sounds weird to most people, but it truly is the best way to get to know yourself is to write, reflect.
Most of the thoughts running around aren't mine. They're somebody else's, or it's something I heard, or whatever.
Yeah.
And which is fine. Like no one's thoughts are original, but you got to sift through them and go, which ones do I actually want to represent me?
Yeah.
You know, this one resonates with me. I'm putting that thought out into the world.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, just this week that came up for me with. I wrote some things and it was more of a reaction to other people, and I knew that I'm not gonna post this. Like I gotta wait on this, you know. And I ended up posting the original text, but it was way tweaked up, you know. Like
yeah.
And it was from a place of being grounded, whereas when I first wrote it, it was from a place of my head being, you know, and believing my own thoughts.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, just writing shit down makes a huge difference. So, like, doing copywriting, writing emails is good practice. I mean, how often do you send an email out?
I send 1 to 2 out a week. Yeah. And I write 1 to 2 Instagram posts a week. So I'm writing quite a bit. And I really enjoy writing. And
so you only do 1 to 2 Instagram posts a week total?
Then we'll do another one that's more so of like something from the YouTube copied over.
Got it.
And that I usually won't do like a long text under.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1 to 2 like thoughtful Instagram posts a week. And dude, it's fun. It's fun. Like dive in. See how you're actually feeling. A lot of those I'll write right after I finish training, because when like I'm training, I feel so good, and like, and I want to let. Well, actually, that's a like side note. When I started not killing myself with training, but moving every day, that was like raising the amount of time that I was feeling good in my body, which like feeling good emotions makes things come to you faster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was a big realization. I was like, oh, yeah, right when I started like just going out there and playing around in the park for 2 hours a day versus like 3 times a week, just like squatting as heavy as I could and like crushing myself, like I started feeling better, and things in my life started turning. Things started flowing.
Yeah.
I forgot what the original point of me saying that was, but
well, you're writing, and you're writing. You write after
yeah,
you
right
move.
after
You
yep.
move, you feel good, and then you go in there with that positive energy, and that's going to draw people in.
Yes.
Yeah. And words have energy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And that's what
like. What energy are you putting out in the world?
Right.
Yeah.
And that is like a lot of your content is your energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what do you want to do with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're just putting shit out there to put shit out there, then it's gonna be some weak ass energy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Weak ass bitch ass energy.
Man, like that post you wrote with some weak ass energy. Yeah. But like also, if you're just saying things that you think people want to hear, it's the same thing.
Yeah, that's a problem.
It's just the energy's not there.
Yeah, we're witnessing that right now. Seeing a lot of people posting things to be popular. And not a lot of original thoughts coming out. Which is okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's reactions, right? And like we talked about, just taking some space, and
it's okay to have some space.
Yeah.
It's encouraged.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, on a whole, like this is just for me, I'm like really don't get on social media very much anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, you use social media. Social media doesn't use you.
Ooh. I like that. Yeah. Definitely. Like I don't even post my own stuff anymore. But even when I was posting my own stuff, I would just get on there just to post, and then maybe I'd see, hey, what's Mike Bledsoe up to, But then I'm like right off the app.
Sorry, you got to follow me. Nobody else.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody else. I'm putting out brilliant content that's going to uplift you all the time.
It's true, man.
I might red pill you every once in a while. All right, dude. Awesome. Thanks for joining us today and let me use all your equipment.
That was a good mic. I gotta get this one.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
Best place to go is search Strength Side on YouTube, and see if you're into what we're doing. If you are, then you find everything from there.
Yeah, it's really dope stuff. I love it. Check it out.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man.